right, please, wait a minute. I'm calling to order the Solano Community College Governing Board meeting of December 4th, 2024. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So roll call, please.
President Honeychurch.
Here.
Trustee Cargo Reed.
Here.
Trustee Kara.
Here.
Trustee Lopez Lara.
Here.
Trustee Thurston.
Here.
Trustee Young.
Here.
Trustee Boyce.
Here.
Student Trustee Sharini Boston.
Thank you.
I will second that.
Aye.
I'm Andre Williams. I'm the lab tech at Solano Community College for welding in the CTE department. I went to Solano, I got my 2-year degree in mechatronics, and then I got hired here probably about a year after that. I think the program's good. We have a lot of equipment here, different shears, iron workers, we have a plasma table, plasma cutters, saws. We can do all different processes of welding from TIG, stick to MIG. So we have it all here. So we have real good relationships with the unions. So if you come here, finish some classes, get at least a certificate, you should be able to get into the door almost any union. So if you want to get into welding, no matter if it's a career path or something you want to do around home, you know, this is a place we have all the stuff you can do and learn, and we'll teach it all. Solano Community College is the place for you.
If you're interested in the CIS programs or any CTE programs such as robotics or auto tech or welding, get in contact with us. You can send me an email and I will definitely get back to you. If you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours and set up a time where we can meet and we can discuss the various programs that we have to offer. I know that Solano College has something for every high schooler in Solano County. There's no doubt about it. It's just that we want to have the opportunity to train you and to teach you so you can grow and enhance your ability to get gainful employment, but not only that, to be a continuous learner.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller, and I'm a librarian here at Solano Community College, and I want to welcome you to our new Library and Learning Resources building. This library has been built for you. We have many areas for you to study in, from quiet, silent areas to reservable group study rooms, as well as large tables for you to study and work together. We have a textbook reserve collection that holds the textbooks for most, if not all, of your classes. We have computers for you to use. We have laptops that you can check out and take home. We have calculators for you to use with your math courses. We have bones that you can use with your science courses. You can get further information at www.solano.edu/library. This is our virtual library where all of our virtual library services are available, including chat service with our college librarians. Also on this page, you have access to our article databases for scholarly research, as well as our popular magazine service, where you can actually flip through magazines like Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine. We have our ebook collections, we have our film databases, and many, many other resources for you to use for your school needs as well as for fun. Our librarians and staff are here to help you with all of your research needs.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity we have here at Solano to get involved in our advanced manufacturing program is spectacular. I can't emphasize there's nowhere else in California you can work with hands-on this amount of equipment, this different types of equipment, automation equipment, robotics equipment. It is a standout program that we have here that's unlike any others in our region, and it will lead you to a rewarding career. I have all my students, getting jobs without a problem. You usually get to pick which jobs they want. I can't emphasize enough how a program like this can just really yield a great, successful career. If you want more information, please contact me. Again, Douglas Green, my email address, douglas.green, just like the color, @solano.edu. Hope to see you here.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand against hate.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will be an advocate for social justice.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
I will support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
В борьбе с расизмом и ненавистью я буду бороться всегда, стискивая кулаки и сглатывая слезы.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, if necessary, I will get into good trouble.
Sa paglaban ng rasismo, hindi ako tatahimik.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, I will speak my truth. I will not be silent.
I will prioritize community.
I will be an advocate.
In the fight against racism and hate,
we commit to doing better, to being bolder, and to contributing to a climate where hate is unacceptable and mindfulness and compassion are the norms.
We are Solano College.
This time I'll reconvene the regular meeting. There was no action taken in closed session. What? Oh, there was. Oh, I'm sorry. There was action taken in closed session. You want to give me a script?
The board took action to release a probationary employee.
Okay, the board voted to release a probationary employee. To be correct. And then now it's time for comments from members of the public. Are there any requests to speak? Then it's a consent agenda, and I'm required to read this. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion of these on these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and or removed. Time will be provided before the vote for clarification questions without removing an item from the consent agenda. So are there any comments on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're on to item 12, non-consent agenda items, the first of which is Dr. Kelly Butler's report, Dr. Kelly Butler presenting the resolution for the trustee on my right, Amanda Lopez Lara. What's that?
I said who ruined the year.
Ruined the year, right? Yeah, she did a great job.
So I'm looking.
It's going to be probably very controversial, but let's go forward. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
It's moved and seconded to approve the resolution recognizing trustee Amanda Lopez Lara for distinguished service to Solano Community College.
I will read the resolution. Recognizing trustee Amanda Lopez Lara for distinguished service to the Solano Community College District, resolution number 242510. Whereas trustee Lopez Lara has served as a valued member of the Board of Trustees of Solano Community College District since December 2022, demonstrating unwavering commitment to the mission and vision of our college. Whereas for the last year, trustee Lopez Lara has held the position of vice president of the board, providing exemplary leadership and guidance that has significantly contributed to the advancement of our college and the betterment of our region. Whereas trustee Lopez Lara has consistently advocated for students, faculty, and staff, ensuring that Solano Community College District remains a beacon of opportunity and excellence in education in Solano County. Whereas under trustee Lopez Lara's stewardship, numerous initiatives have been launched to enhance educational programs, increase community engagement, and promote inclusive practices that benefit all members of our college community. Whereas trustee Lopez Lara's dedication to public service and passion for education have inspired peers, faculty, staff, and students, fostering a culture of excellence, equity, innovation, and inclusion at Solano Community College District. Therefore, be it resolved that the governing board of the Solano Community College District expresses its heartfelt gratitude to trustee Lopez Lara for her extraordinary service, leadership, and commitment to enhancing access to education and community engagement. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to trustee Lopez Lara as a token of our appreciation and recognition of her valuable contributions to Solano Community College District and the Solano County community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and I'm truly honored, and it's been a privilege to serve and work with everyone here. I don't think I have ever seen a more productive board and panel of VPs that keep things, I don't believe that Solano's the hidden gem of Solano County anymore. I think it's being heard wide and across the Bay Area and across California, and it has been my privilege to work with everyone here. And I hope Dennis will one day forgive me for ruining the year.
I never said that. But there's a motion and a second, so let's call the roll.
All right. Let's see. Trustee Voice,
Aye.
President Honeychurch,
Aye.
Trustee Kara,
Aye.
Trustee Cargo Reed,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Laura, Trustee Thurston, Trustee Young,
Aye.
Student Trustee Sharini Boston.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks for helping. The next item is under Human Resources. Salabati is the presenter. It's a change to temporary CSEA salary schedule.
President Honeychurch, I'll make a motion. We have 4 items that are to increase the minimum wage that increases in January, and so I'll make a motion for to approve item 12B, C, D, and E, and Sal can talk on all of them.
It's moved and seconded to approve the raising the minimum wage. We can do this in California now.
Thank you, President Honeychurch, members of the board. Yes, this is part of the minimum wage increase that happens in January, but also last year we had a plan rolled out to increase our temps and student workers to the $20 minimum wage, and this is the second step in the plan. We could not absorb the full amount in the budget all at once, so we've decided to step it in. So again, we're bringing this to you. You will notice that many of the starting salaries are now well above minimum wage, which is going to $16.50. Our minimum wage will now be $18 here on campus. So,
All right, thank you. Are there questions on this item? Or these items? Apparently not. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Minimum wage increases are approved. So the next item is presented by Lucky Lofton, which is a bond measure, Measure Q bond project initiation. Is Mr. Lofton available?
Thank you, President Honeychurch. This project initiation form we're seeking the board's approval for is to begin our project of repairing our distribution system for our heating, hot water, and chilled water system, delivering heating and cooling to all of the buildings on the Fairfield campus.
Any questions of Mr. Lofton?
Yeah, just because it, yeah, I know we talked in depth in Measure Q committee about this, but just because it affects the campus in real time, would you mind giving just a quick sort of what's going on with it and why this project is needed?
Absolutely. We began with a replacement project for our central plant, which is our boilers and our chillers. We knew that we had concerns about the distribution system, but we wanted to address the primary equipment, the chillers and the boilers first. 2 years ago, we started this project. 2 years later, some of those problems became worse than they were 2 years ago. So we've had to have extensive repairs conducted of the systems, the distribution system, the piping system that's underground delivering heating and cooling to the buildings. There are 8 vaults that are failing, and this project will begin this process with a study, with an engineering study of the problems that exist in those vaults. Once the engineering study is conducted, we will bring back to the board a project proposal and a budget for repairing those vaults. So it will be taking care of critical infrastructure to keep our buildings warm and cool during the appropriate seasons.
Thank you.
All right, so is there, do you want to offer a motion to approve the
Sure.
Measure Q bond project initiation? I think there's, so go ahead.
Sure. Right, I'll make a motion to approve item 12, F, G, H, and I. The first 2 are about this issue, and then the other 2 are a small project for a door and another change order for one other.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve F, G, H, and I, right? So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on now to item J, which is a resolution to ratify amendment number 1, pre-qualification process for prime contractors. Mr. Lofton, can you tell us about this one?
Absolutely. We are in the process of pre-qualifying contractors for the 1600 remodel bid. Our attorney that we've been working with began this process with a very rigorous pre-qualification form that the board approved at a prior meeting. We have received those submittals, and now that we understand the nature of the contractors that are bidding, we've been working with the attorney to modify and adjust the pre-qualification form to suit the project, suit the bidders, and bring the right partnership together for the district and for the competing contractors. So this is an amendment to that pre-qualification form that was previously approved.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution to ratify amendment number 1, pre-qualification process? Sure. Why don't we get a motion? To move and second it. So good. Thank you. Questions?
Mr. Lofton, could you explain what prime contracts means for people that are watching? Oh,
Got my on.
sorry. Apologies. In the heading, it says the pre-qualification process for prime contracts. Can you explain that, just so that we're all aware of the difference between when we use the pre-qualification and when we don't?
So there's 2 parts to that question. First, prime contractors are the general contractors, the contractor that the district will have a contract with. That general contractor or prime contractor will then have subcontractors underneath them. And there can oftentimes be 2 and 3 tiers of subcontractors. So you could have one group of subcontractors direct to the prime contractor. And then that contractor, those subcontractors may have other subcontractors. All those contracts exist in a relationship with the prime contractor. Our contract is strictly with the prime contractor. And the second part of your question was
related to pre-qualification, when we implement pre-qualification, what that means.
Yeah. So occasionally we find ourselves issuing a complicated and difficult project, and that particular project we're doing as a design, bid, build project, as opposed to the design build projects that we have done for other buildings. There are different strategic reasons for doing design build versus design bid build. In this case, a design bid build project seeks the lowest cost for the project. So what is commonly known as low bid contracts are design bid build projects. And that we are pre-qualifying contractors to ensure that they meet our standards for performance in their prior work before we let that contract to the lowest bidder. We don't use the pre-qualification process on every project, but we have used it. This is the second time that we've used it on a design build project since I've been here. And in each case, it has served the district well.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? So if not, there was a motion and a second, correct? So you could call the roll.
Trustee Young? Trustee Thurston? Trustee Cargo Reed?
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Lara?
Aye.
Trustee Boyce?
Aye.
President Honeychurch?
Aye.
Trustee Kara?
Aye.
Student Trustee Shreya Shavrini Bosson?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item is under Academic Affairs. Vice President David Williams is the presenter. It's the sabbatical leave for the academic year 25-26.
Thank you, President Honeychurch and members of the board. As a part of the collective bargaining agreement between the faculty and the district, there's an opportunity for faculty to take sabbaticals to pursue projects that would benefit either their discipline or the college as a whole. And there's a review committee made up of administrators and faculty on these committees, and we reviewed some sabbatical requests, and we're asking for your approval for the three that are listed here for Dr. Saki Cabrera, Dr. Tasha Smith, and Professor Orion Lamb. And these will all take place in fall of 25.
All right, is there a motion to approve the sabbatical leaves?
I'll make a motion, but then I have a question too.
I'll second.
All right, any questions?
Yeah.
Oops, that's me, I'm sorry. Someone else has been in
you're
charge
good.
of this one.
Who's second? Thurston?
If I'm recognized, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
I know all three of these professors is not a quality control screening. I just was sometimes we get information on what they're doing during the sabbatical.
Yeah.
Is there an ability to share briefly what these are doing? They're all excellent people. I'm
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Dr. Saki Cabrera is in the psychology department and human services and social work department, and she is proposing a sabbatical to explore and create a wellness certificate to allow students to become wellness coaches. Dr. Tasha Smith is doing some curriculum work in the child development program, also to explore open educational resources for her students. There was a curriculum change that was made a couple of years ago during the pandemic, and it was implemented very quickly and not in the timely enough manner to really do a good job. So she wants to revise the course in order to teach it better. So that'll be a good sabbatical for her. And then Professor Orion Lamb is in our chemistry department, and he is researching and developing a certificate in lab research scientist to eventually lead to a degree. And this will provide jobs for students in the biomedical field and areas like that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to echo my colleague's point. I think maybe would be nice to actually include that so that when they obviously have applied for a sabbatical leave and with lots of documentation, so it's probably really easy for them to include a paragraph to include in the minutes so that everyone knows also.
Yes.
Just going forward maybe might be nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, but we do get a report after the fact.
I know, but even so.
But I agree with you. Yeah, be good,
Be nice.
be helpful.
And also gives them an opportunity to shine, besides just their name.
Absolutely. So I think we need to vote on the matter. So all those in favor of approving the sabbatical leave for the academic year 25-26, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. That brings us to item L, an agreement for renewal with Chabot Los Positas Community College District for Early Childhood Mentor Program, also presented by Vice President David Williams.
Yes, this is a renewal of a contract we've had for a number of years for the early childhood program. Our students in that program work with schools and teachers in the community, and this program actually supports the teachers in the community that we work with to provide them guidance and support as they mentor the students in our program. And this is no cost to us. It's monitored through the Chabot Los Positas School District, or excuse me, Community College District.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agreement for Early Childhood Mentor Program?
I'll second.
All right, you made the motion, and Trustee Boyce seconded it. Are there any questions, comments? If not, all those in, oh, sorry, do you have a comment?
No, I was just going to say I was really excited to see this program, and I really do appreciate all the services here that are being provided by the campus, especially recently now. I've been hearing a lot of people praised a lot of the programs here on campus. And so in my head, I was just thinking about all those experiences and mumbled in my breath. And so, yeah, definitely very excited to see all these programs.
Well, thank you. All right, so is, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is, item M, which is an amendment to the clinical experience agreement with the Solano County Office of Education and the Fairfield-Sassoon Unified School District for the Associated Degree Nursing Program.
As we may have reported to the board in the past or more recently, providing clinical experience for our nursing students has become a challenge lately, as hospitals are less willing to take nursing students. So we did have a challenge with our pediatrics program, and we were able to reach this agreement with Fairfield-Sassoon to allow our nursing students to provide nursing and clinical experience at the schools, which themselves struggle with the ability to attract and keep a sufficient number of nurses for their students. So we're asking for your approval for this agreement.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
So there's a motion to approve the clinical experience agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. The next item is item 13, which is a board study session. Vice President Lisa Neely is the presenter, and this is entitled Empowering Student Resilience.
Let's do that. That's better. Mic on. Nice Alt tab. Thank you. That works? Okay. Clicking through. Thank you. So I'm really grateful to be able to spend a few minutes tonight giving us some high-level updates on what's going on in student services. And the title is very intentional, Empowering Student Resilience, because we really feel commitment to empowering students as a form of resilience and really being able to contribute to that space where they can really thrive and achieve their educational goals through a sense of all of the services that we're providing. So I just wanted to give a little, okay. Louder? Okay. All right, I'm going to use my theater voice, David. So I want to just start with the Student Services mission statement. We developed this across the entire division together as a collaborative project 2 years ago, and we really believe that this sort of undergirds the work that we do together. And the mission of the Student Services at Solano Community College is to build a student-centered, holistic community of support and resources guided by the principles of collaboration, of equity, and social justice. We are committed to dismantling barriers and ensuring that our student support services really represent the diverse needs, broad interests, and lived experiences of our campus populations. We are dedicated to empowering each student to realize their personal, educational, and career goals through customer service excellence grounded in kindness, empathy, and respect. And so this was something that was developed across the division, so folks really own this together, and it provides a framework for the work that we do. And the idea at the last sentence around customer service is really our North Star, so continuing to think about how do we improve our customer service. The division is quite vast, as you probably are aware. A lot of programs, departments, areas. It includes 5 deans, I think about 5 to 7 supervisors, directors, 10 counseling faculty, 60 plus professional, classified professionals. So it really does cover a whole diverse array of services and programs in support of our students. And just in terms of providing a framework for the work that we're doing and just kind of giving a context for some of the things I'll be speeding through tonight, our focus really is looking at student choice. So we continue to provide services to students in a range of modalities. That certainly includes in-person, online, phone, email, chat. Students really have that choice, and we want to make sure we continue to provide that choice when it comes to student services. Expanding capacity is something that we've really been focusing on, and we are very grateful and appreciative of the opportunity to be able to braid funding and create positions that are really vital to improving the speed with which we're able to serve students, the efficacy of those services, and also the intentionality around that. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Creative program support, obviously continuing to think and be creative and innovative and make sure in order to dismantle some of the barriers, we need to think a little bit outside of the box. I underscored the idea of customer service in our mission statement, and we're really thinking of that as an equity strategy. And in fact, every single department and division last year had a series of workshops around equity as a customer service component of our work, and we looked at it from kind of top to bottom with all of the teams. And then, of course, community building, something we continue to do as a college. So just some highlights in a couple of key areas. Admissions and records, just to give you some sense of kind of the scope, answered this fall so far. And of course, we're not quite over yet. Over 5,000 phone calls from students. They continue to be super effective on the phone and making sure that students' emails and phone calls are answered. So we have a less than 2% abandoned call rate, which is pretty phenomenal. Just to give you a sense, because a lot of students are choosing to seek services in this department online or in a remote fashion, and we've digitized a lot of the things so they can easily submit forms online. We see about 25 students a day in person. That obviously varies depending on the time of the semester. And to date, we have answered 40,000 emails in this year alone. In terms of academic counseling, you can see again this sort of scope. In spring this past year, over 3,000 appointments, and that was a range of in-person as well as online. You can see by fall this year already that number is increasing, so we're doing a really good job of trying to meet students' needs when it comes to academic counseling. About almost half are in-person appointments, so you can see a sense of, again, how students are choosing to engage with us. We have noticed that with online appointments, students are less likely to, for no-shows. So they're really, if they have an online appointment scheduled, they are more likely to show up. So we're really pleased. That means more students essentially are getting served. And we're very grateful because through the faculty prioritization process this fall, we are able to go forward and hire 3 new counseling faculty, an EOPS counselor, an accessibility services center counselor, and a general counselor. So that will incredibly be part of the value add that we're able to give students. In terms of financial aid, I think this is one of the key metrics that gives you a really great snapshot in terms of the work that's being done under the leadership of the team there. And so you can see, just looking at the years starting back in 2018, 2019, we had about 511 students who had their financial aid package ready to go by the start of the term and going all the way forward. And of course, we had some dips through COVID, but as of this year, we had almost 3,000 students that were packaged with their financial aid. And of course, students having that aid in hand means that they get their books, their supplies, they're ready to go, they're ready to hit the ground running on the first day of class. In terms of program innovation, one of the things we did last year was we merged our EOPS Care and Next Up programs into the financial aid department. And we did that because we realized there was an opportunity to be able to streamline services for students, particularly when there's a lot of overlapping eligibility. So we took away some of the delay and iterative processes that students often have to go through to figure out where they where they're eligible for funding. So by doing that, we merged the teams. It's been a great success. Our EOPS program has doubled in size in less than a year. Our Next Up program, I think right now we're already serving, this is a program that serves foster youth. We have about 40 students already just in the beginning launch of the program served, with about 80 that are kind of in the pipeline ready to look at their eligibility criteria. So this area is growing a lot, and it's unusual. I think we're only one of 2 or 3 community colleges in the system that I'm aware of who have done this kind of a merge, but it's been super successful so far. Academic Success and Tutoring Center, we have a new supervisor, which is really exciting. Shantae Hill's been fab. She started about the beginning of fall semester. And again, you get a sense of some of the traffic. We've had over to date almost 4,000 visits. Students can come in person, see tutors for a variety of different subject areas. They can also study. We have regular snacks, coffee, tea, you name it, trying to keep folks with nutrition and energy to keep going. In fact, there's a lot of activities at the end of the semester where we're really helping students prepare for finals. We have extended hours, we have extended food and refreshment, and also some fun kind of party stuff to help students through the long nights of study. We've also now placed site leads from the tutoring center at the Vacaville Vallejo Center. So we previously had part-time tutors, but we've now got site leads to really help orchestrate the tutoring support at the centers as well as Fairfield campus. Of course, student equity and success is a big part of what we do. These are just a small list of some of the highlights over the last year. We opened our Pride Center in part with some of the support from the Chancellor's Office through the LGBTQ+ grant about 1.5 years ago now, and that's in Building 400. Of course, our Student Reproductive Health Club, yours truly, where we were able to support that work, and of course also success in getting a grant, 25,000, I believe, from the Institute for Women's Policy Research. And of course, Sriya and her team have been doing a fantastic job around that area. We opened, this is actually a picture of our Black Student Cultural Center from some of you who were able to join us last year when we opened in February. And that's been a study space and a place for folks to gather, to be. We've had events there. We've had mentoring sessions. We've also been working with the another state grant, which is the Asian American Native Hawaiian, Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander grant. And we are just starting to work with a faculty member who's using reassignment time to start to build some learning communities for those communities as well. Amend and Amani are some organizations that support affinity groups in terms of our Black and African American students. And of course, we continue to support Teaching for Equity, which is the faculty-led and a sort of originated program working with other faculty around equity practices in the classroom, teaching and learning practice. Building 400 is undergoing a refresh, so I've been really grateful to work with Andrew Gleason at Kitchell on some new furniture and charging stations so that some of the general spaces of the building will feel a little bit more friendly, a little bit more welcoming, a little bit more modern. We're also hiring literally this week an outreach specialist that we named in the student equity plan to specifically look at recruitment, particularly in Vallejo, but across the district for Black and African American students, because looking at the research, we know that there's more that we need to do to capture some of those populations. And we also started this last semester for our reentry students in our SOAR program, individual and group mentoring from the wellness front. Our basic needs program has really grown significantly over the last year and a half. Christina Rodriguez is our basic needs director, one of those really critical hires. We had always provided some of those services in some kind of overlapping way, but really bringing it together into a cohesive whole. We also have it, for the most part, kind of housed in building 1400. So we have our food pantry, which is expanded. Students now have fresh produce. They also can shop the wall, which is the term meaning that you don't just get the bag, but if you want to go and put stuff that you choose into your bag, you can do that. We've opened a clothes closet, which has been incredibly useful and had wonderfully generous donations from folks on campus to support that. We opened a lactation room, which is open by appointment for folks on campus, which is really important. And then we're also seeing a rise in students with emergency housing needs. So there's a lot of housing insecurity amongst our student population. Christina happens to have a background in housing, which made her a particularly exciting hire and has really upped our game as a college. I think we were able to provide, in some cases, more resources than other colleges because of her knowledge. So we are seeing now upwards of about 20 to 25 students every semester who are in acute housing critical situations, and we're able to give either support in terms of helping them transition into permanent housing or even put them in emergency housing. We have 3 hotels that we deal with locally. We have MOUs with them to support students with emergency transitional housing. And then, of course, mental health is a big piece of what we provide through our basic needs program. Those numbers continue to rise nationally. This is certainly not something specific to our college, but we wanted to do everything that we can to support students in that way. So we have certainly our ongoing contract with JFK University, where we have students can access 6 to 8 sessions every semester with a counselor. We also have our early alert program, and we use timely care, which you might remember I talked about last time, and I wanted to spend a moment on that. This is a snapshot of October data, but Timely Care basically is an app that students can download on their phone for free, and they can either sign up for a counseling session with a clinician, or they can actually do the automated 24/7 on-demand Talk Now. And right now you can see we have about 250 total students enrolled. I think many more have enrolled this semester, so we're trying to build visibility, have more students utilizing it. It's interesting to notice with the 477 total virtual visits, 38% are after hours. And when we look at the data, there's a lot of like Saturday morning, 3 a.m. So students really being able to access immediate support from a qualified clinician when they need it. You can see there's a balance between video, phone options in terms of how they want to access the support. And right now, if a student wanted to immediately say, I need to talk to somebody now, I'm in a pretty critical situation, they have under 5 minutes to wait, which is pretty good. Skews a little bit more female, and then you can get a sense of the age range and who uses it. I just wanted to spend a bit more time with this because we are seeing greater need from students around mental health, and certainly post-COVID, we're going to continue, I think, to see some of the impacts of that. So we're always looking for ways and being very open to how we can continue to support students' mental health and wellness. And this one, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit small. Just I thought it was interesting in terms of the reasons that students have cited for their visits to timely care. So for the visits, you can see a big piece is other for the top circle, but you can certainly see that things like stress is a pretty big determinant, and certainly depression, trauma, et cetera. And then below for the talk now, meaning somebody wants to talk right away to a clinician, you have a huge piece around relationship issues. And then of course, stress is the green piece of pie being pretty significant. So there are a lot of things that students are carrying, and we understand that our role and our mission is to be able to provide that ecosystem of support so that they can really be students here, get into the classroom, and thrive in the classroom. Our Veterans Resource Center, of course, continues to move along with our Purple Heart designation that we're very proud of. We have a new position. Again, this is part of our ability to braid funding creatively and really create those vital roles. So we are literally interviewing in the next couple of weeks for a director of the Veterans Resource Center. It's currently a coordinator, and we feel like the level of responsibility and the growth that we see and the sort of strategy that we envision really calls for a director level. So we're excited about that. And you can see our population is increasing. I think everyone was impacted by COVID, and so our numbers are starting to move back. I think right now we're serving just under 500 students, which is exciting. And of course, these are photos from our recent Veterans Appreciation Day luncheon. Early Learning Center. So some of you were attending the ribbon cutting of the Early Learning Center. Very excited that we have the new building. It's an amazing space, actually. I was lucky enough to go visit it when they were having nap time, and it was just so cute. I thought, I just want to go lie in one of those cots and take a nap with the kids. We also were able to name the building after one of the long-standing and long-serving employees, Juwan Vartanian. So that was very exciting and very moving. And right now, just to give you a sense, there's about 50 current or just recently enrolled Solano Community College students with their children at the center. And just to remind folks, it's age 0 to 5, so it's really for infants and toddlers. And the funding comes from the Department of Education and the Department of Social Services. We do get a little bit of federal funding, but it's important that I always like to remind folks that, you know, we wish we could serve more. We have a total capacity of about 108 infants and toddlers. We're almost at capacity. With this new building, we can serve more students, but it's based on financial need. So we will prioritize Solano Community College students, but it's very much financial needs based, just to remind folks of that. And of course, Winter Wish is a wonderful program that's happening right now, where folks from the community on campus can basically sponsor a family and provide presents for the kids, or assistance with food or gas or whatever it might be. And folks are continually super generous, and the families really appreciate that when winter sometimes is a tough time. And then the Vallejo Center is also an area that is within our student services world. We've expanded services, continuing to look at increasing classrooms, working really well with David and the deans in terms of really thinking about how we can build the footprint at the Vallejo Center, which I think is really important. We opened the state-of-the-art digital media lab about a year ago, which is really exciting in terms of that space, using some of our workforce development dollars to do so. We also have regular now on-site folks from the Wellness Center providing support services, both at Vallejo and Vacaville. And then just a range of community partnerships. Our team there has been great. They've really formed a family where I think students feel very welcome. And I think what's really nice to see is that they've gone out and really sort of outreach to the community, brought in folks either to use our space. We're talking to some organizations about potentially using some of the office space. They've held events there. We're doing what we can to really reach out into the community and build those strong partnerships. And we're very excited that we are working with Solano Transit Authority on a pilot shuttle program, which will be a shuttle that will go between the Vacaville, Vallejo, and Fairfield campuses. So I believe Dr. Butler's going to get called into some meetings with them to kind of vet the process, but they love our idea. They're willing to work and support us. And so that's something we're looking to launch in early spring semester. We have 2 new dean hires, which is very exciting and big whoa with my plate. Our new Dean of Student Equity and Success, Heather Watson-Perez, she will start in a couple weeks' time. She's been a fantastic member of faculty the last 7 years as an English professor. She's also the faculty who was behind the origin of the Teaching for Equity program. So really excited that she's going to be joining us in a new capacity. And then we have the 3D life-size version of our new interim Dean of Counseling, Dr. Morel Green. We're really excited that he has also joined the team as our interim Dean of Academic Counseling. So really excited with these two new dean hires. We got lots to build from. And really our theme, and one of the things that we've continued to embrace, is this idea of community building. And what does that look like? What does that look like in terms of the choice that students need, in terms of how they access our services? What are the services that we can improve? What are the ways that we can better serve students? And how do we also just create those spaces, those moments, those activities and opportunities for students to come together? Because we know that really this is about bringing folks together. I think students, even if they want to study online, there's definitely a need for more community, more connection, more ability to build relationships. And so we're looking at ways to constantly streamline what we do, embrace technology, other tools in order to be able to do that. So we're really spending the quality time with students developing those relationships. And as of spring 2024, all of our student services will be open 5 days a week. So we have kind of gradually gone through the sort of post-COVID world and bringing more folks back and opening and providing more opening hours. We're going to be doing that consistently from spring onwards, 5 days a week services. And so that's going to be exciting to be able to let students know that they have further opportunities during the week to engage with us, even if they still want to be able to phone, email, etc. I think that is my whistle-stop tour. I will stop there just to give you a little bit of some highlights. Happy to take any questions, clarify anything.
So thanks for your
Hope that was
report.
helpful.
There are questions.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, my first question is about the Student Services mission statement.
Yes.
And my experiences in Vallejo when the city was having a hard time actually serving the public. And what they did was have their mission statement right there on the desk. Do we print this mission statement? Do we have it so that everyone knows this is what we're supposed to be accomplishing?
We've certainly done that across the teams, but it's interesting to think about other ways that we can publish it. And we wanted to do something that would kind of sit under the larger mission statement of the institution, right, and align with that, but really give a North Star to some of the specific services. So we are in the process of looking at some website updating and design. So we'll definitely make sure that it's something that can be very public, because you're right, it's a great thing to remember and remind ourselves what we're doing.
And I know for Vallejo, the city, they found a remarkable change in how everyone interacted when, you know, right in your face it said we're supposed to be really nice and looking after you.
Just a reminder, right? Note to self.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, absolutely.
Okay, the other question is housing and resources. You said there's an emergency housing MOU with the hotels, with 3 hotels.
Yeah.
And we give support in an emergency. Do we pay for those hotel rooms?
Yes, so we use funding that is aligned with student financial aid support. So we work very closely with the financial aid office, and of course all above board and certainly transparent for the student to understand how that fits into their aid package. But we basically have that agreement with the hotel, the Hilton Garden in Fairfield, the Motel 6 down Cordelia, I'm not sure which direction that is, and the new one, the new Marriott, just over by Business Center Drive. And so basically that's where we can do that. So we usually give students up to 30 days in specific instances where we know we're able to take them just a little bit further into more permanent housing. We can up that to to 50, 60, up to 90 days. So yeah, we work directly with the hotels. They've been fantastic. They've been certainly, very student-centered, really wanting to be able to support and be partners. So that's been a great resource that we've been able to use.
I know for about 2 to 3 years ago, I remember that we had some people living in cars on campus. What's the situation with that now?
I wouldn't know necessarily on any given day, but we certainly are trying to make sure that all of our basic needs, that we're constantly promoting it for students, making sure that there's lots of awareness and Canvas, our social media game, for those who follow on either Instagram, et cetera. We've really, with our new Director of Marketing, Communications, and Outreach, has been phenomenal in terms of just building more awareness that way, because a lot of students are going to get their content on the phone. And so really trying to make sure that students know. And I think the intake and the uptake of the number of students that are coming to us means that the word is getting out there. And so we have a lot more students coming saying, hey, actually, I'm in this difficult situation. And the Wellness Center, as well as Christina and the other folks that work in that area, are using a trauma-informed approach to really be sensitive in terms of being able to work with students, really understand their needs, and then address it as quickly as possible. And I do have to give a shout out to financial aid, because they've just been amazing to be able to have those quick turnarounds when there's just a moment where if we can get, you know, a payment to help a student out of a rent arrear or into a more permanent housing situation within 48 hours or whatever it might be, that's can be really critical. So we've been doing that.
Okay.
But we are seeing more students in need.
Okay. My kind of last question is about the Early Learning Center, which is just amazing.
It is.
You said it's from 0 to 5?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and we
Babies
serve...
up to infants and toddlers.
Okay.
Up to age 5.
A 5-year-old I never think of as a toddler because they have a lot of opinions. But we serve 108 students.
That's our full capacity. I think right now we're about at just under 100, but our full capacity in terms of our license is for 108, and the new building has increased that, which is great. So that's why our upper limit is 100.
At 108.
Students. Yeah.
But so we have 8 slots that are spaces available. And
well, they oftentimes will churn, and so Sabrina and her team are very good at making sure, like if for whatever reason a student moves out, then they have a waiting list. We always
Yes.
have a waiting list, so we fill those quite quickly. And of course, with the new building, all of this is coming online as we've made sure we got all of our licenses in place and all of the specialists in place. So all of that now is ready to go.
Okay. Okay. I hope that we will eventually make it more than 108, but that's my little pet peeve. So
of course, hopefully.
Understood.
Understood.
And even, I mean, for anyone that has children, if you have the resources to pay for it, are you allowed to? I mean, do we say, okay, we focus on the need first, but you know, there's always a level where if we've got some spaces and we don't have somebody, we can charge them.
Yeah, and the subsidy levels will depend, but I think certainly the commitment and the funding regulations are going to make sure that we're really serving those in most financial need first, which
Yes,
is they've been great at doing. So
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. There's some different tiers there.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Questions? Go ahead.
Well, first off, thank you, VP Neely, for this presentation. I really do love seeing it in like this whole compromised way. It makes me feel really giddy. I really am. I love this campus so much. But my question is specifically, when I saw the timely care aspect of this presentation, I saw it was $250 for this month, or was it for the entirety of the semester?
I believe that's for the semester, even
Okay.
though we were looking at a snapshot, because we can print the records every month. We can look at kind of the totals, but yeah, I think that 250 was for the semester.
Got it. Awesome.
But we're always interested in trying to get the word out and get more folks to.
And that's my point in terms of specifically timely care. I found out about it last semester because I believe Christina Rodriguez came into our classroom and talked about timely care, and that was the first time that I came across it. So I'm curious, could you give us a rundown in terms of where students can get access to understanding where these resources might be accessible? So I know you mentioned like emergency housing. Like I just found out about that just like a week ago. And so if I'm the only one who's just finding out about this, I'm wondering to other students, where are they getting this information? I know that Christina Rodriguez is doing a great job with, you know, the Wellness Center and things, but when you are in that kind of tight crunch situation, it's really hard to get that outreach or go to that building and talk to somebody. So I'm wondering, what are the steps first for students to identify these resources?
Absolutely, and I think there's always more that we can do, right? So I think part of it is we've been very intentional with the social media campaign, because we know for a lot of students that is going to be the way that they're going to find out about information. Christina's been great kind of hoofing around campus, getting to classrooms. She's made a lot of contacts with faculty where they say, hey, I've heard about this now, can you come in and talk to my class about the basic needs? So we're doing it that way. We've got a Canvas Now shell, so in addition to Canvas announcements, there's a shell dedicated to basic needs, and she's also built out the website. I think as we revise and revamp the website, I think that information will be even more accessible for students. But if there's other thoughts you have in terms of, you know, how we can get the word out, absolutely, because the services are here, you know, the support is here. We just need to make sure that students, when they need it, know it's there, or can refer a friend and say, hey, you know what, you're having a hard time, these are the folks to go to, or this is the number to call, or this is the app to get.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation and following up with the information, because there was a few things that I had kind of zeroed in on with the counseling, you know, when students were trying to get some guidance of what classes to take, and I imagine it was because we were in our first year back on, you know, in person. So I am so glad to see that the hiccups have been somewhat resolved here. I'm hearing really good progress from people who had said something about a year and a half ago, came to me, made it a point to say, hey, I just want to let you know that the team is doing an amazing job. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
If I haven't said it already, I might have. I don't know. I repeat myself. And then also, I am glad that she brought up the timely care. That's really important because I see that we are doing phenomenal in that. In other colleges, they don't have this, or they claim they have these resources, but they're on wait lists. They're not getting that touchdown. They're not getting that guidance. So I really love to hear that Solano Community College has offered this and that students are taking advantage of it and that they're being able to be helped.
Yeah.
Because I have heard in other states that they don't get back to the students that are in some critical need, especially the mental health.
Yeah.
That is something that we're all as a community really focusing on, and what the solution is I think is just being mindful of one another and helping each other out, and I see that it's going on here, and I love to see it, so thank you for this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, the team, none of this is possible without a pretty amazing team behind all of these different services and departments. And timely care is one of the pieces that has helped in terms of embracing technology to do that, because you're right, students now have access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we're constantly having conversations about, are there new, are there folks that we can be looking at, are there new services, are there things that other folks are trying that we can do, that we can augment the services that we provide, because I do think we're going to continue to see a lot of mental health and wellness issues. I'm really grateful too, because we had a grant with behavioral health from Solano County, and Dr. Saki Cabrera has kind of originated the idea of the wellness center, which has really taken off. And in some kind of proactive way, it's been great for students to just be able to know that there are spaces and places where they can go to kind of chill out, or to kind of reconnect, or to ground themselves, or to just get some support. And so I think those are the kinds of other ancillary support systems that we can put in place and let students know about.
I saw the Veterans Center, and that was just beautiful. Amy did a very good job with the tour. 2 years ago, I was able to see it, and I love the creativity behind it. It was very calming, and the extra resources. She really did a good job advocating for this college, so I just want to give her a little shout out.
Yes.
But yes, those wellness and those spaces that help everybody to be able to just decompress and refocus, it's beautiful. It's just physically beautiful. So and you guys are doing a great job with the aesthetics and the sounds, the ambience. Everything is just amazing.
I appreciate
Thank you.
it. Yeah, we're grateful for all the resources that are able and enabled us to do that. And I should also shout out the students in ASSC, because we did a joint venture and used some of our student equity funds to braid the support of a meditation space. That the students came to us and said, hey, what about creating a meditation space for students to be able to, again, have some of that ability to find that calmness, to ground, et cetera. So that's in the second floor of the library. So that's been exciting to do as a partnership as well.
All right. Thanks very much to Vice President Lisa Neely for your report tonight. Thanks for the questions as well. We're going to move on now to the information items. It's the first reading of revisions to Board Policy 1077. So this Dr. Kelly Butler will present this.
Yes, this board policy 1077 is a duplicate policy. If you recall, we recently passed board policy 2005, and we're bringing this for first reading to just have you look at it and compare to board policy 2005 to eliminate redundancy. College governance has recommended that we remove this policy and have board policy 2005 that not only includes the language here, but also includes the Academic Senate 10+1 information about Academic Senate purview, faculty purview. And so we're asking you to consider the deletion of this board policy, and it will come back in the next board meeting for a vote.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We're on now to announcements. Are there announcements? No? Of course.
So last week, the college had an open to all course by
Phi Theta Kappa. Yes, and it was amazing. I mean, what was particularly amazing was that it was a torrential rainpour, and nobody should have been out, and certainly nobody should have not had drugs on them because. But we all went to learn about the drug overdose problem in America, and in 2001, no, that was a long time ago. 2021, over 100,000 people died from drug overdoses, and it is a problem that keeps affecting everybody. And it's something as simple as when you smoke weed now, it could be tainted with fentanyl. So something as common as weed is a death sentence. The thing that's changed everything is this little drug. It's called Narcan. Now, I spent a lot of time in San Francisco, and San Francisco passes these out to people. And what was interesting is I'm going to pass it around so that you can see it, but it's just, you buy it $15 if you don't get it for free. Keep it in your car, and you can't harm anybody when you give it to them. I mean, it's like, it does not do any harm. All it can do is stop someone from dying. But I thought I don't want to say kids, but these young people who gave this course were magical. And what I thought would really be nice, since this is a problem that all of us, in one way or another, know someone that has a problem, that it should be televised so that we can try to get as many people to know that there are options. And it's this little drug. For $15, you save a life. So I just pass it around, and it's just like a spray, kind of like if you're my age, and do you remember we used to spray, what was it? It was like a menthol type of thing in your nose. No, you don't remember? Yeah. Anyway, but it really is an amazing thing. So I'm hoping that they'll come and do the same presentation. They were just phenomenal. So that's my little bit.
All right, thank you.
Is there a research center that people can get these for at cost? Because if you try to go through a prescription or at a CVS or Walgreens, they're quite pricey actually. Not 15, they were like 40 something or 50 something Vacaville. So yeah, maybe. I know in Kaiser too. Kaiser tried to charge that, so was not. I tried to charge.
Yes, and I can work with Phi Theta Kappa to see if they can provide some additional information for us. And so the Phi Theta Kappa is providing this as part of one of their projects. Our campus Department of Public Safety also carries these, and there are other areas in the community. So we are working with the county as well to make sure to get the information out.
The U.S. government gives it to a lot of, they were saying that they got 100 boxes, and each box has 2, and it was free. And I know in San Francisco, where I go a lot of time, we've got something like 400 boxes for free. I mean, it's the only way that stops people from dying, correct? But I'll double check the price, because we were told it was about $15.
All right, but thank you for that information. I can confirm that this actually works, having had a client who was revived, or at least a witness was revived.
You saved a life.
I didn't say, I only represented somebody, but I have saved a few, but anyway.
And you're right, Walgreens says it's $44.99 for 2 doses.
It's expensive if you don't have the resources to get it at cost, so I appreciate you bringing this up, because I do feel it's very important for people to have this training access, and because it could be quite pricey if otherwise, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that information. So with that, I think we're on now.
I think there's another.
Go ahead. This is on, we're on items from the board.
Announcements. Still announcements. And mine's a little bit lengthy, so please bear with me. But I did want to say Kaiser does offer Narcan for free. anyone who walks in can grab it. And actually, RHC is working right now to go to Kaiser, get a bunch, and bring it into the Reproductive Health Center to offer to students in addition to all our reproductive health services. So did want to mention that to you guys, that is a process. Actually, I believe Solano County Department came for ECHS specifically to give a presentation on the dangers of fentanyl and Narcan strips. And so they were talking about that, and I discussed with them afterwards in terms of bringing Narcan strips to the Reproductive Health Center. So that is one thing that we are currently working on in the Reproductive Health Club, and we'll give updates once that is finally in the Reproductive Health Center. But given that, I also wanted to say I'm really excited to see that we are working on not being the best kept secret here in Solano County. It's just really awesome. VP Neely's presentation was just, I felt really, really giddy, and I've been here since 2020 online, and so I've been here for a while, and seeing the progression has definitely been amazing. And I did want to highlight a couple of things. We have a couple people from ASSC here, including Miss Denise and 2 ASSC members, AJ and Lorelai, and ASSC has been working so hard in terms of events on campus. Today, we had a bunch of events on campus, including the sweater competition, including some other things that were being held, and including the Reproductive Health Club, who hosted cocoa and contraceptives. We do it every single year. And I did want to highlight that last year it was really difficult for students to have conversations about contraceptive usage. But this time we had people walking up, and we're just so happy to see us again, and so happy to have those conversations, and we're asking questions about sexual health. And so seeing that change in conversation and dialect on the campus overall has just been a tremendous feeling, and I really encourage you guys to visit the Reproductive Health Center next semester when we have open and full hours to just see that yourself, because seeing that this past year has been amazing, and including that we had conversations about a new bill that we're sponsoring this year. So I will bring that to you guys to talk about once we officially publish it out, but very excited, and a lot of students were excited too. And then just on a personal note, I was selected as United States Senate Youth elective for the entirety of California, one of 4, to represent the entirety of California for Washington, D.C. And I want to thank Teacher Voice for giving me a recommendation letter for that. And it's just it was from the California Department of Education. And so I was elected because I was student trustee for Solano College, and this role has really tremendously taught me a lot in terms of public service, and I'm so glad. I'm so sad this is my last year as student trustee, but I've learned so much, and will of course still be active next semester and my senior year next year, and just want to give a tremendous thanks to everybody on the board for curating me into the advocate I am today.
Well, thanks very much.
A tremendous,
Well, congratulations to you.
yeah, we want to give a tremendous, tremendous thank you to you. You have done an excellent job. Very proud of you.
Yeah, here. Thank you. Any other announcements?
Like I said, you are a gem. Precious gem, young lady.
Yeah. An item from the board. Yes, here we go.
Sorry,
item
guys,
from
back
the
to business. And so I did want to say that today we did have an audit subcommittee meeting that went extremely well. And so we are due to finish on time this year and have the report in hand. And I really want to commend VP Wheat on all her hard work and the hard work of her whole team and everyone. It is no small feat to get that to the finish line. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce that. And I am very, very, very happy to announce that we also had no findings in the financial statement audit. And so that is just a huge progress over the last few years. So I really can't commend VP Wheat enough. And I hope she has a very restful evening knowing that that happened today.
That's definitely good news. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your work on that, on the audit issues. Any other comments? No, there's no announcements, items from the board. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. A. Maria, you're
I
on
move
deck.
that we adjourn our December 4th Governing Board meeting.
All right. Moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. I signed it.